what a twist.
Chancellor sent you? Well, horseman. I've beaten death once, and I can do it again.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course not. You still reek of hope. You couldn't have met the Chancellor.
Who are you?
I am the Master of Blades, in all that remains of the warrior once called Draven, and the kingdom of man. I should have passed through the Well of Souls long ago. But I won my freedom in the arena, only to fall beneath the dead king's whip.
Chancellor doesn't sound like much.
For ages, his tongue has dripped venom into the dead king's ears. He all but sits upon the eternal throne, demanding service!
That's all it took? God, he sucks. I'm sorry, I really hate the character Archer as like a main villain. He's lame. He was a lame character, had no personality, and then he turned into a lame cyborg where all you had to do was find some fleshy bits and shoot him until he fell. What the fuck was that voice change?
Impossible.
Edward, can you hear me?
Hey, you have an arm back. Who lived?
No one disturbs the Lord of Bones without say of his Chancellor.
A rider? In the kingdom of the dead? No, no, this will never do.
I must speak with the Lord of Bones.
That is not possible. My lord attends his realm, a burden beyond even your ken, horseman.
And what is your use as a doorstop?
There is but one way to draw him from his slumber. The Gilded Arena. Here mortals are offered a last chance to earn freedom from the grave, a boon that includes an audience with the king. Defeat the arena's champion, and return here with its skull. His Majesty will grant you an audience.
And where is this arena?
Fret not, horseman. We have already arrived.
Really?
Your king is not the first to rule here, is he, Chancellor?
There was another, a creature called Argul, too mad to be kept upon the throne. I helped my lord be rid of him, and even destroyed a few of his servants. Tisk, tisk, what will my lord do without me?
What does Echidna have to do with your kingdom? Last I heard, she had one of her own.
The Shadow Realm, Isalik, yes.
What?
Where the Sisters Sightless spin their webs. Many of my lord's foes escaped there when his rule was still young. We hunted them down. Echidna herself barely escaped. Perhaps she took shelter here, and yet weaves her evil.
Let me speak to the Lord of Bones, and I will spare your champion. And perhaps you as well, Chancellor.
You cannot slay that which is already dead. But you're welcome to try. In the arena.
Forget what I said about sparing you, doorkeeper. Tell me about the King of the Dead.
His reign is eternal. His word is law. And his time is invaluable. I ensure that he need only speak with those who are worthy.
Then you must rarely see him, Chancellor.
Oh, no. Do take care in the arena, also. Should anything happen to you, I'm not sure if I could live with myself. Still more questions?
May I, teacher? Please, we learned so much from you the first time. I want to know more alchemy and more on equivalent exchange, so that one day soon, I can be with brother again. I have no idea how to make that work, but if I study hard enough, I will find a way to bring him back. I can't explain it. I just know. How? Will you let me?
Can't say no to your face.
No, I want you to promise me something. I'll study too, to be the best mechanic I can be, however that may help them.
Do take care where you step.
You got it, deal. I'll find a way to bring brother back, and then we'll all be a perfect team.
Why is he missing an arm and leg over here?
I have wares aplenty, if you have coins to spare.
How did you get here?
It's just like
Merchant knows many roads. Not all of them are shared with
kind of
horsemen.
redundant.
Browse to your heart's content.
heal until I understand why. I have to keep working. You are the only way. Of course, but I'll return when we have lost again. I should have found a better method. Didn't you realize that? Just doing my best to care. I thought I made an equal exchange. My body, mind, over his. Yet here I am, still alive. Does that mean Dante was right, except to the opposite extreme, and I got something for nothing? Or does it mean reality out, doesn't it? You boys had a long journey together. All the people you helped along the way, all the hardships, the pain of losing friends you loved, determination, sweat, and blood. Don't you think that may have been the price you paid? How to get back to you? This world's a strange place. But one thing's for sure. I will find a way.
Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. In those days, we really believed that to be the world's one and only truth. But the world isn't perfect, and the law incomplete. Equivalent exchange doesn't encompass everything that goes on.
Salutations!
Still
Hello,
chooses
Wonder.
even its principle. If there's an egg and a flow, a cycle, but the journey we go through prove every reward, and the anyone who's determined and perseveres will get something back.
No way.
I don't think of equivalent exchange as a law of equality. Think of it as a promise between my brother and me. I promise one day we'll see each other again.
Okay. Still playing. You sound like you just want to sleep. You sharing voices? Huh? I mean, there's a audio setting to where people watching the stream won't hear me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know if you were still doing that. It doesn't bother me really.
Behold, a challenger enters the arena.
But what does he seek? Absolution from death.
No! This one.
So that is a damn good Two-Face profile picture.
You would tell us his cause. Speak, challenger.
I'm here to defeat your champion.
And so all challengers boast, but most leave in torment.
Their souls burn from existence, and our champion all the stronger for it.
Enough! Bring out your champion.
There is power in this one, power enough to do as he claims. But our champion is no cur to be summoned at will. You must draw him forth. This altar holds his power. The souls of all he has slain and consumed. 3 animus stones must be placed therein. And our champion will arise.
Do you know what FMA movie tied up the 2003 series? Rip.
Let's kill this champion dude. Probably don't want to be here too long.
Oh, you don't like this place?
No. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind this so long, but there's a certain part I really want to go to. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you're not trying to kill yourself, you have to wall run.
I think you're kind of weak,
A little bit. What do you find better? The version of Envy that's a worm, or the version of Envy that's like half brother to Edna? Worm. That's because of how he's jealous of humanity as a whole and not an elf of just being like the quote-unquote perfect family. I don't know. I really like the dynamic between these two shows we're watching now, because it's a very weird trade-off of world building versus side characters and darker storytelling versus better protagonists. Or like lighter storytelling versus better protagonists. And I remember being stuck in this room for like a day.
Why? Because you kept being killed?
Yeah, I played on hard mode, and basically any time you get hit, you get stun locked, and they have way too many enemies for you to get stun locked.
True.
So it was either murk everything and damn near don't get hit until you find a small opportunity where you see things spawning, or you get hit and you die. You just die. Like, for free.
cannot. Impossible. I cannot.
Did you know sloth could be used as a term for apathetic?
Impossible.
So I never knew that. That it was both apathetic and lazy. Yeah, a lot of my struggles with this game were just playing the hardest difficulty because I heard it was a pain in the ass. I was like, I'll test that out. Dirt, dirt. I ended up beating the game. Does it matter? I'd say I beat it in a month, or a few days. Maybe a week or two. I don't remember exactly how long it was. But you ain't never seen no crowds in this game like the hardest difficulty.
I was supposed to start it over on the hardest difficulty, but
Look. With choices like that, you have to decide, are you a hardcore gamer, the hardest of the hardcore gamers? Do you think you could deal with that? Do you think you could deal with possibly having to play a specific way or else you just lose? Do you think you can figure out these games on a mechanical level and think of it as a game and not as a fantasy that you're just kind of living in the moment? So if the games are really as hard as the difficulty meter says it is, that's kind of how it breaks down. It's figure it out on a mechanical level, typically play like one of 2-3 ways or you die. Usually. Or at least from my experiences. And then the challenge gets so frustrating that it's like the programmers made the difficulty in the sense where they're trying to suck the fun out of the game. But that's always up for debate and solely revolving around personal opinion. So if you don't want to go through a game where you might start thinking that, don't do it.
I'll do that too.
You play on the harder difficulties.
I like challenges.
Oh, so no, that's not the problem I have, right? I like the idea of a challenge. I had never found a proper balance in most games to say that the challenge is as exciting as it sounds originally, if that makes any sense. Alright, as long as you get it, I don't even care if you agree. Like a perfect example, there's like certain things in Sekiro, like the Ashina Cross guys, that guy is not fun.
Part of the story.
Oh, you didn't?
I haven't. I put the work down.
What bit of the story did you play, or are you missing?
The secret
Oh, the complicated one where you had to eat all the rice balls and then
no, I already did
talk to the...
Come on,
Okay.
other one.
Evil ending?
No, I didn't.
So you never beat Owl
I beat
in the
him.
second fight.
I think
I cannot. Impossible.
But you never actually did that ending then.
I beat Al.
Yeah. No, that's why I was confused. I remember watching you beat Owl. But god damn Ishin, man. I swear, if you don't figure out how to parry literally everything, that guy feels like dumb luck. Pretty sure you came from there. It's worth
I
checking.
cannot.
A different angle.
Fair enough. So people keep saying they want to learn from DeLorean how to play Tekken. But nobody has the patience or emotional control to learn from DeLorean. As he'll teach you the fundamentals of how to be able to play competitive, but you have to be able to figure out what you're looking for and shut the fuck up. This is like, once you learn how to play, once you get the fundamentals of how to play competitively in any fighting game, it just starts being, if you can't react to this, I'm going to bully you. If you can react to this, there's a huge mind game that most people don't look at. I mean, that's true.
You know the whole roster,
no,
every character can do anything.
Impossible.
Fighting games fundamentally become about prioritizing popular characters, or prioritizing how to fight popular characters, and then if you're really paranoid or really freaking out to be the best player ever, you learn how to fight everyone so that you'll never get the jump on. Or so that nobody will ever be able to jump you. There's a whole lot of studying, and then you'd have to be able to, even without frame data, break down a character and tell people, like, this is why such and such is a good character. This is why such and such is not a good character, and so on. But then the problem that comes up is the problem that people usually have with Tekken is like, so you have to learn movement, then you have to learn all your moves, then you have to learn everyone else's moves, and then you have to learn how to tech a grab. In every grab, in every variation of any grab. You can see how that's a lot of work, right? Well, I mean, you're not trying to play competitively, I'm just asking for an understanding.
Yeah, I play competitive. Like, prime example. So, you know, You know how I fight.
No, there's a difference between wanting to be a competitive player and just having a competitive mindset when you actually play the game.
Well, what I mean is, like, I play competitive. Especially that's how I start my fighting game. Shenanigans.
So you telling me you actually go to tournaments and stuff?
I did once. Technically, I could get wrong.
Yeah.
I just
So.
I just don't play as much. I'm not efficient like I used to be. Because, like, DeLorean, he beats me when I'm not on my shit. But when I'm on my shit, he has to switch up his playstyle a lot. You know what I'm saying? Cause, like, it's either on Tekken, it's either this: you play aggressive and stay safe, or you just get punished and get juggled to death with this new
Death combos are not guaranteed unless you have perfect execution 100% of the time. You can go through that gate. That's the only other gate.
There we go. Damn it. Okay. Oh my god.
Honestly, most of my problems have just been the camera. You don't get that here. But yeah, pretty much everyone, what ends up happening is damn near everyone that we offered to help, either they don't ask questions and they're frustrated, or they ask questions and they're frustrated. kind of funny. You don't see it?
Well, makes it, well, the reason why it's frustrating to them because they're playing something very new to them and they don't have experience with all the characters. Like, I have experience with all the characters. Like, I know their moveset, all of that shit because experience and just playing that shit for a long period of time as a kid. And
I mean, nobody's questioning why they're frustrated. It's just kind of like...
It's frustrating, especially like...
It's a mentality thing, and all the advice you could give at that point is don't think about winning. And then everybody gets upset and they don't feel like they're getting progress because they're still thinking about winning. I hope this doesn't really bother you like that. I don't know. Just kind of in here talking about random shit. I hope that doesn't really bother you like that.
I don't give a damn. Now we're making progress. Sorry, folks. Had to break work. Found you, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's also some things I found to be a fundamental rule in fighting games. It doesn't matter if it's 2D or 3D. But some things I found to be a fundamental rule, like don't press buttons when somebody hit you. Yeah. Somehow you find somebody who could play Guilty Gear and like you've seen signs that they had some semblance of the reputation that they boasted about. But then they come to Tekken, it's like, sure, maybe you don't know how to do a string, but why the fuck are you pressing buttons on hit?
They have to learn by, that's the thing, they have to learn by experience.
But it's a fundamental rule in fighting games, like, don't press on hit. Like, how is that hard?
True, but certain games, like, probably when you get hit, you gotta spam square to fight like the counter. You know what I'm saying? There's certain games that does that. They just got to get
I can understand Ninja Storm where there's like shadow clone shenanigans, but then you just shadow clone shenanigans and hope you made the right call. But Tekken isn't one of those games. Why are you pressing buttons on hit? How did you, like, there was no sign that it was one of those games, and you've seen higher level play to show you there's no signs that it's not. Whatever.
That's okay, man.
I just don't get it. I don't get how people do that. But people do that a lot.
People do that.
No, it only frustrates me because you've played other games to show that you can think about things at a higher level than just mash buttons to win. And here you are coming to Tekken mashing buttons to try and win. You're just like, why?
That's kinda help.
Just why, like, that... It's, you've shown signs that you're better than that. Why are you doing this?
Just to make a person mad, or they just don't know what they're doing.
I don't think you understand the degree of stupidity I'm talking about there.
But I know exactly. Prime example, you know how we fought Bubba for the first time on Saturday? He was playing that.
Yeah. But like, was he good at any other fighting games?
Like Dragon Ball. Like if you watch me play with him now versus first pick up the game, he fights like me, but he fights similar like me. Well, he just knows how to fight my fight style, but I changed it up though. Depending on my defense and what I have on my fit. I have multiple fight styles. I don't enjoy it unless I teach them.
I cannot.
If you really want to know my fight style, you know why I play it that way, I'll tell you. But until you figure out yourself by fighting constantly, you'll know. But I'll switch it up a lot. So you just don't know what I'm doing. But
it's
different. Like
I don't know, it's just like really specific situations that I'm just like, why are you doing that? The only time it really worked and I couldn't question it past why didn't I think of that was
impossible.
People who would like just mash out buttons mid-screen and then when I get close it's like jab jab grab. You're just like, oh,
why?
Why?
To throw you off.
No, that's like the only thing I couldn't really question it past why didn't I think of that is that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, even if it worked to an extent, pressing, just mashing out random attacks on hit, why are you doing that? I have all of the room to mash harder than you because I have plus frames. Like, with the exception of very, very specific moves by, like, almost none of the cast. Why are you pressing buttons on hit? You know what I mean? There's really not many moves where it's like you have any kind of frame advantage when I hit you, or nobody has any kind of frame advantage when I hit you. So why would you do that at that point? Or at least I would understand it if you were pressing buttons on everything and going like, is there anything where I can play kind of dumb like that? But people don't ask those questions. Nobody asks those questions, they just, lose a match and get frustrated, and lose another match and get frustrated. sure you have room. You can pick that up.
Impossible. I cannot. Impossible.
Good.
Just crush.
Dog, if you're tired, don't fucking stay up for... Don't stay up to stream a game nobody wants to see.
Fuck my day.
I'm not saying stop playing this game if you want to play it.
I love this game.
But also
No.
don't stay up to play a game that nobody wants to see.
Fair enough. Oh well. Somebody might say something different.
As I mean, don't stop playing the game if you like the game, but also, if you're tired, go the fuck to sleep. Like, what the fuck? There's no reason to even be nicer about that. Just like, don't sit here staggering, stammering, passing out on the couch when you're trying to play the game. So then you're wasting your time and anybody who might want to see the game.
I have to go alone.
But you really don't get time to play this, do you?
Nope, I'm busy. And I start
I mean, like,
job,
I meant like, even when you're not busy, you just don't get time to play this, huh?
I just don't feel like playing the game this time.
So the way you make time is by staying up to stupid hours?
Not stupid if you, don't agree with it,
Nah, the only point I don't agree with it is how tired you are.
I'm not tired, that's the thing, I'm wide awake. If I was tired, I would be in fell asleep by now. Cause last time, I fell asleep while I was playing this game.
You were staggering, you were like stammering and mumbling a lot, like you were starting to get tired again.
That's the way my mic is.
Oh. My bad.
Take your head. You cannot win. Hunter! You did this.
Oh my god.
Together! It will hurt. You cannot win. Kill him.
So, now, after finishing watching both shows, I still feel like, for the most part, it's world building versus more interesting side characters. But the weirdest problem I had was the Ishvalan massacre versus the Ishvalan massacre. In the 2003 anime, Mustang had a better backstory, but Scar had a better payoff of the Ishvalan massacre.
Huh.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? Really, what I mean is, It's more interesting to have Mustang be ordered to kill Winry's parents because they had the side cam to help everyone. But the payoff is better when Winry finds out that Scar kills her parents and then she picks a gun off the ground and thinks about shooting him. Does that make sense?
It will hurt.
You don't really get the payoff like that with Winry finding out that Mustang killed her parents. She says some things, cries a little bit, and that's it. When she finds out Scar killed her parents, she picked a gun off the ground. She chased Ed into a battlefield and then heard him shouting about how Scar killed her parents, and then picks a gun off the ground only to have to be talked out of it by Ed. Which I think was a much better character development moment. From a worse story. The homunculi, there was some homunculi that I liked better in the original show. There was, mainly, it's pretty much just Lust and Sloth. That I like better in the 2003 anime, because you can sympathize with Lust, and Sloth was just a cooler character. The apathy angle was just a cooler character, and it was more personalized to Ed and Al. Envy's kind of 50-50 because it's like, on one hand you trade off character development between Ed and Al at the end of the show for seeing this worm crying about how humans are pathetic.
Huh.
Yeah, like, it's so weird, right? The other two of the weirdest trade-offs that I've seen between the two shows were Bradley Pride versus Bradley Wrath, and Archer versus Kimberly. Because Archer, his entire character was just to be this boring ass, kiss ass character. It just sucks up to Bradley because he just wants that military power. And Archer was just a boring fucking... He was just a boring kiss-ass that became a boring cyborg who just kind of died from 5 shots at the end of the day. He was supposed to come off as this indestructible cyborg, and they kill him off in like 2 episodes to Hawkeye from a pistol. Like, it's just boring. Oh, you forgot about this fight? But on the other hand, in Brotherhood, Kimberly is a psychopath and a realistic genius. So, Kimberly in Brotherhood, he was, his whole thing was, he wanted to blow shit up. So, he was able to hide his motives well enough to be able to say that he's mentally stable enough to join the military. Only to find out that the government is corrupt and they'll let him just kind of kill people if they help him do the thing that the homunculi want. So he's just like, okay. Oh, and you have Philosopher's Stones? This is great. I'm gonna just go kill people now. And then when anybody on any side has a moral conflict that he doesn't agree with, he just looks them in the eyes, and he's just like, you're a bunch of idiots. You guys are dumb, you're pathetic, and I don't understand why you're having this problem. You're pathetic. And then he'll point out the problem with your moral ground or being pride. It was just like, that's a great character. I didn't care for Bradley in the 2003 anime.
Why is that?
He didn't exist. He didn't exist. The coolest thing he did was kill his son. And he probably didn't even kill his son. No, what happened was he basically doesn't exist for most of the show. He kills off, what's her name? That was part snake. And then you, for the most part, don't really see him doing anything until he goes to fight Mustang. And then he has like a cool line where all I have to do is just throw sword swings at you and you'll never be able to make accurate explosions ever again. And then he gets fucked over by Salim, so he gets mad because Salim brought his skull back. And he's just like, yeah, people are stupid, you guys are stupid, people are stupid, even my own son is stupid, you all suck. And then Salim doesn't know what happened. So he goes to strangle the kid, and I don't remember if the kid survived. But like, you don't really get to see him do anything besides give random people orders and have one small moment of, oh, so, you have interesting information? What are you trying to tell me, Mustang? And like, that was it. So he didn't exist. But in Brotherhood, as Wrath, he has a bunch of small moments that show his actual personality. He has a bunch of small moments in completely random conversations that show his moral guideline, that show how he just wants to fight people, how his entire like moral guideline is built around basically survival of the fittest. And how he just hates humanity for all of our flaws and everything that makes us unique in anime terms. And then when it comes to final battle situations, this nigga's here for an entire season, cutting people up, cuts a tank in half with a sword. A normal ass sword, mind you. Cuts a tank in half with a normal ass sword. Every time people think they had this man on the ropes, he pulls something else out of his ass. And then he scared a ninja so bad that the ninja's fail-safe plan was to go full suicide bomber on this man's ass, light a bunch of fuses strapped to his waist, light a bunch of fuses to like dynamite strapped to his waist, and just jump at the guy. And what's Bradley's response to that? You're a fucking idiot. And he just cuts off the end of the dynamite sticks right before where the wick goes out, so that the wicks can't even go out and they just kind of like die on his blade as he cut this man's entrails out, and everyone saw it. So you had all of this great development, all of these great fight scenes, only to get kind of fucked up at the end of it. Only to get kind of fucked up at the end of it, still put up an amazing fight against Scar, and then lose the fight or have a draw against Scar because of the eclipse that the Father Homunculus wanted to quote-unquote get the powers of God. And then Bradley's like, oh, maybe that was the hand of God, and he dies happy with the choices that he made. That is a great fucking character.
Not enough, bro.
I forgot how annoying this boss fight is.
I don't know. He's alright.
But no, you get what I mean, right? Like, that was a great fucking character. I don't know. I think that Bradley as Wrath just had like a better presence and much more time to be able to say, like, this is who I am. That's where they gave no real time to side characters in the 2003 anime.
Alright. I'm gonna end it right here.
Going to bed.
Yep. It's time to fall asleep.